Like a rock. Do you remember those commercials from Chevrolet in the 90s when they were comparing Chevy trucks to the rock? That they're indestructible like rock. Hi everybody, this is Oleg. Welcome to Oregon Preparedness. On this nice fall morning, about 56 degrees, just beautiful, I decided to head over to gym, Cascade Athletic Club, so I can be like a rock, like a Dwayne Johnson, or like this Chevy truck. Either one of them is like a rock. And while I'm far from looking like Dwayne Johnson, although I would like to, I do what I can to stay fit as much as possible. Because even if there was no SHTF on the horizon, fitness is health. And the older you get, you truly need to stay as fit as possible. And with SHTF clouds closing in quickly, not these clouds are pretty nice, but the SHTF clouds, they're closing in fast. And you need to try to be as healthy as you possibly be, as strong as you possibly can be, because you just don't know in which situation you might end up. I tell you, Vancouver, Washington is really green. Everywhere you go is trees, shrubs. It's truly is beautiful, you know. Not because I live here, it just is. So is Portland, but I feel like Vancouver is even greener. You know, I've been here a year now after being in Portland for 26. I still actually miss Portland because that's my home. Has been my home for many years, 2.5 decades. But this place is nice. There is almost no homeless. Once in a while you see them, but hardly any. Because in Portland, homeless, they unfortunately make a big mess, you know. And here is another example why all this aid we send to Ukraine truly pisses me off. We have so many issues here. We have people that are misplaced from their homes after hurricane in Florida. We have homeless that have no home, yet we're sending billions over there. By the way, these trees already lost their foliage, and I'd say most of the trees, as you can see, are still pretty full. Many of them are still green, like these over here, and some already lost their leaves. Most of you probably know that there was an attack on Crimea Bridge. That's the biggest bridge in the Russian Federation, and you know, it's one of those little victories that Ukraine celebrates when they do something like that, you know, but then they pay for it dearly. Look what happened right away. Russia launched close to 100 missiles at Ukraine, destroy pretty much, if not all, most of critical infrastructure. Most of the cities, including my city, I'm from, Kharkov, either have no electricity at all or very little of it. So what are they doing? In my opinion, they're digging their own grave. You know, some people think that Ukraine must fight for their freedom. The reality is, you can fight if there is a chance to win. In my opinion, you can fight until the last Ukrainian. And then the question is, if you do fight to the last Ukrainian, who's gonna live, who's gonna use the territory? If there is no Ukrainians left, is there even a point of fighting to the last Ukrainian? I don't see any point. If Ukraine, number one, in my opinion, and I know many of you are going to agree with me, Putin is not going to give up, no matter what. And no matter the losses, I mean, we see it already. You know, Russia is gathering at least 300,000 or up to 1 million of new soldiers. They're hooking up with Belarus. They are not giving up. They're not gonna stop. And no matter, you know, how tough Ukrainian army is, number one, I don't think it's even that tough. You know, they're not even fighting with their own weapons. They have no more weapons. All their weapons have been destroyed 5-6 months ago. They're fighting with all the weapons that West supplies them and ammunition. Additionally, there's 30,000 plus mercenaries on the battlefield. So are they really that tough? In my opinion, not that tough, you know. You can leave me a comment below what you think about it. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm not taking any sides. I'm just looking at the situation objectively. There is, in my opinion, no point of this fight, because no matter how badly you can criticize the Russian army and their mothballed equipment and lack of training and blah blah blah, Russia is still 3-4 times bigger in population than Ukraine and still has a lot more weapons. And is there a point to fight to the last Ukrainian? Who at the end is gonna occupy and live on that territory after last Ukrainian falls? Anyway, it's crazy, tough subject. I feel awful for all the fallen soldiers, Russian or Ukrainian, because it's somebody's sons, somebody's husbands, somebody's fathers. And the longer this war lasts, the more fathers and sons and husbands are gonna fall on both sides. They need to have some kind of peace talk and come to some kind of agreement. The problem is Ukraine does not want to talk, and therefore there is no end in sight. Anyway, going to the beginning of this video, we don't know how this is all going to end up. Nothing we can do on that level, but something we can do is get in best possible shape, be as healthy as possible, you know, eat right things, prepare, because we don't know what's around the corner. You know, hopefully none of that is gonna be happening here in the United States. But as you can probably imagine, well, nuclear war can hit here, civil war can break out. There is just no end to all kinds of disasters that can take place. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next upload.